Welcome back, one and all, to some more AAOL. We are here for Season 14, and we're in Week 5. We have some amazing matches up tonight for you all, so I hope you're ready for some incredible Overwatch, and I'm joined by a fairly familiar face. I think I've seen you on this channel before, but I'm not sure. Who are you again?
I think my name is Papadako. And I am back after a little bit of a break, and I'm so excited for these upcoming matches here for, it would be Stage 14. Season 14, Stage 1 of Week 5, the last week, everybody. So get your skates on, as this is it. 5 weeks have culminated into these matches right here. We have 2 very exciting matches coming up tonight. But first off, if you just joined in and you're like, I've found Koalas Esports. I don't see any koalas, and yet we're playing Overwatch. What the heck is this all about? Well, AOL is a weekly casual tournament, and it goes for 10 weeks, split into 3 stages. That was a lie. It's actually only 2 this time round, and it's the largest OCE Overwatch tourney. We have 50 plus teams. We're into our 14th season, and you can sign up as an individual or as a team. And if any of this interests you, go down below. You'll see the Discord and also our website. Anyway, Apara, the coming matches, I think they're going to be bloody exciting.
Oh yeah, we've got some very fun matches for you tonight. We got 2 matches coming up, starting off with Unimelb 1 versus Desire. And then our game 2 tonight will be FA1 versus Ace Jacks. So we got some very exciting games, a lot of familiar names coming through tonight. So it's really fun to see some teams that we know are going to excel. And Pap, I think we'll go through the teams, starting with Desire.
Yeah, let's kick it off with Desire. I've heard a lot about these guys. Of course, they've been playing quite well this season, but a couple of my friends are on there, and they were very hype to know that they were being streamed. Anyway, we have for the tanks Mechman 57 and Pika, or as you'll see him on screen, a face. But it is Pika. They like to play the Diva, and Mechman likes to play the Winston. It's actually the other way around. I keep stopping it up. But anyway, Vocalize and Craig Taco, they will be the DPSs for tonight. Vocalize likes to go on the Cassidy, and Cray Taco as the Hanzo. Then you have Maya and Michael. They will be keeping everybody alive tonight. Brig and Baptiste. A little bit about them. They are managed by Store and coached by Oseki and captained by none other than Vocalize. The people you should be looking out for is Cray Taco, who is excessively lucky. And a god tier Hanzo player, which, yeah, Hanzo and luck go hand in hand. That's coming from a support. Little bias there. Anyway, and then Maya is apparently a big brain on the Brig. Perhaps we'll see some incredible shutdowns with that shield bash. Anyway, a little bit about them. They have been playing together since February, and 2 founders of Ambition Esports are on this team of Pika and Vocalized. And our main tank player, whose battle tags are face, that's Pika. And then we have Maya is very good at the video game. That's what we've got. And they can only play one comp well. So I think I might know what they've been running and training, because I have been I subbed for them a couple of times in one of their old teams. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, Apara, on to you with Unimelb 1.
Yeah, Unimelb 1, the team that is going to try and break down that one comp that they can play well. On the tank line, they have Kevin on the Roadhog as the main tank role, and Norm running that favorite hero of Zarya on off tank. And then for their DPS, they have Shadow opting for the hit scan. Favorite hero there is Widowmaker, and Tobo the Hobo, the flex DPS themselves on Hanzo. And finally, following up, trying to keep this team alive, will be Shino, the main support on Lucio, and Kabutops on the Baptiste, or just any flex support. Some people to keep an eye out. Tobo plays Hanzo a lot, so hopefully a little bit of luck And a little bit of skill from the amount of Hanzo they're playing.
Luck
We'll see if
v
they
luck,
can go head to head.
perhaps?
Yeah, go head to head with the god tier Hanzo of KoalasEsports. Kevin, also very good at Hog, and apparently they do have a sub called Kyle if they need to come in to play Mercy. They've been playing together for just 4/5-ish weeks, so pretty much a new team here. But Tobo and Shadow have been playing together since 2019 on a team called Duggies. So that's pretty much our team lineups for tonight. Pap, do you want to just quickly run through the map pool for us?
The map pool, indeed. So we kick off with Control Nepal, and then you go into Hybrid of Eichenwald, Kings Row, and Escort, Watchpoint Gibraltar, or Route 66. It is a best of 5, so if we continue from there, we'll hit either Hybrid or Escort, and loser of prior map picks the mode, and also the map is based off the previous map of your choosing. And then finally, if we need it, Lijiang Tower. And then if we really, really need it, because it is the Opapa Curse, the tiebreaker of Oasis. Yeah, indeed. That just popped into my head. I completely forgot that you and I are cursed. Damn it. Anyway, no, it's some very exciting matches coming up indeed. And I do love the fact that we got rid of 2CP. I did see a video come out from the Overwatch League YouTube channel that were like, rip 2CP. I'm like, nah, get it out of here. I cannot have a bigger smile on my face as I wave goodbye.
No rips in this stream for old 2CP. Everyone's very happy that it's gone. And now all that's left is to jump into a game. Starting off on Nepal, Pap. What do you think we're going to be seeing in terms of team comps? Okay,
based on my really bad memory, if I'm correct, which I probably am not, because maybe Oseki has something else up his sleeve. But when I last played with them, they had this very strange composition that they ran, and now my memory, it was, maybe I shouldn't say this live on stream in case they're watching, of Melb 1. They're like, taking notes. They're playing goats. Anyway, so Melb 1.
That'd be impressive. If they
they're real.
Then I'd be very impressed.
Although, having done a little bit of a practice session with you on Thursday, what we did see ran, which we might see Melb 1 run, especially on Sanctum, was a lot of poke, and then when you got to Village and Shrine, it was a lot more brawly style. So we could be seeing a lot of that. I really hope not to see the double shield. People that have seen me cast a lot know that I'm a little bit against that, purely because that was when I was playing a lot. That sucked. But I do love me some Reinhardt, awesome dive. But we're going to see this one comp seems they are still sticking to it. The Reinhardt Winston. It is an absolute mess of a comp, but it confuses the enemy so much. It just works. You have Vocalize on that Genji. Of course, I don't think they're going to stick with the Sim after they TP out of spawn, I reckon. Cray Taco will go onto the Tracer. On the other side, however, very brawly. Shadow Raven will be looking for those walls, possibly getting Mech Man, but I know that they're going to go super fast, especially with these lower heals on the side of Desire.
And straight away, both teams zooming along down the sort of bottom pathway, trying to go straight to point. And it does look like Desire get on there first just a little bit, but the Mabel is going to block off those tanks on Desire, and Pika's going to fall so quickly. They really felt that damage. The charge onto the Zarya does not come through for Mechman, unfortunately, and even with Cray Taco trying to keep the fight alive, it does look like that will be a fight win for Unimelb.
Yeah, that was really quick and very commanding, although it's not over yet. This is the beauty of this comp, Apara. There's just craziness. They don't know what's going on, Melb 1. They're like, oh yeah, we won. We got the point. They didn't even get to cap it because they're so mobile and so quick, the team of Desire, that you're able to get back. You're able to sort of sacrifice some of those stagger kills. And with Cray Taco's Doomfist just picking off 3 there, it was just curtains for Unimelb, as they seem to want to go under and wrap right around straight to the point.
Well, now I've learned that I cannot predict when a fight is over with this team. Desire going to really play it confusingly, but they did give the point up Taco, however, does punch Tobo the Hobo into a wall. Because of that, there is going to be a little bit of a staggered fight out. The shatter comes through by Kevin and takes out Maya there, but Taco and Vocalize, so good on their DPS heroes, completely cleaned the point back.
Yeah, and unfortunately Shadow Raven's wall kind of blocked Kevin the Pro's Pro Shatter. And because of that, not as many desirable Shatter... I was trying to go for a pun there. Not as many people from Desire were able to be getting knocked down now. So Tobo, they do have the dragons maybe on point as they wrap around very quickly. They cap immediately again.
Yeah, but the blade comes out by Vocalize, taking out Tobo early. Can they get another? They're searching for it, but the immortality makes it a little bit harder to get the kills. However, with Pika's Primal Rage and Maya just swinging, that is once again a complete wipe.
They kind of just let Unimelb one just, wander onto the point, let them think that they have a chance, and then Desire, they just come up with something really random to take them all out. They do, however, they're going to have to be really careful of Norm's grab and dragon combo. They don't really have anything because Lucio is still one off.
Mech-Man shattered into a wall, and there's the grab dragon combo you're talking about. Finally, a team fight win for Tobo the Hobo, and that's the way you want to win that fight and cap the point.
Yeah, very commanding and very quick as well. Mech-Man, they did try and do something with a shatter, didn't pick anybody off at all there. However, Michael was able to keep the beat, so perhaps you can just speed boost straight in. There's nothing much. They do have to be careful of Blizzard, though. That would at least make a considerable amount of space for Unimelb, as they do take the high ground tier Desire.
Tobo trying to land these shots here, but not quite connecting onto anything. The rest of Desire here now dropping, tries to go for the punch through. The wall is going to block off half of the team, and with Desire coming out, we do see with Blizzard coming out, we do see Desire getting frozen up, but Taco's Meteor Strike completely wipes the field.
Team kill rings in everybody's ears there as the mouse difference from Taco comes full bore. Shatter from Kevin the Pro, though, for the next fight. And really, if they can get a commanding fight win here and take it as fast as they have been, there's no reason to really put a lot of pressure on Desire here, as they don't really have many ultimates to fall back on except Vocalizer's Blade.
And Vocalize taking out Tobo early. The flip does go back once again, but it seems like Desire doesn't care. They have no desire to keep the point. They'll give it up, but they just want to win the team fights, and Vocalizer's Blade is going to do just that. 3 to their name. Do they finish off the Reinhardt with the help of Maya? That is going to be the point flip back once again.
This will be the last sort of fight here for Unimelb to put on a good show. They don't have much. In fact, Shadow Raven, they've gone into the Tracer, even to be able to touch the point in time. 8 seconds remaining here. You do have Shadow from Mech-Man as well as the Primal. They're going straight onto it.
This time we do see the response from Desire. They're now wanting to keep this point locked down and on their side here. With Kevin the Pro taking out Taco, that could be devastating. The Primal Rage has to come out by Pika just to take out Tobo the Hobo. Can they get any extra picks? The Shatter not really coming through too much, unfortunately, for Kevin the Pro because of the bubble. And that is going to be the cleanup kills for Pika. It's just Kevin. All that's left of this time is ticking down, but Kevin cannot confirm enough kills.
Poor Kevin. F in the chat for Kevin. He was trying his best. He was living his best German life. Swinging on the point there, just couldn't confirm enough. But Desire were able to take that, and it wasn't convincing either. It might have been really it was very messy, but that last fight was just eked out by some very quick, clean kills there from the DPS of Desire. As we now onto Sanctum, where usually we have been seeing a lot of poke because it is a little bit harder for the Brawl to get up close and personal like they want to. But we're seeing an interesting comp actually from Melb. You don't see many Roadhogs anymore here, but of course you do have Tobo the Hobo on the Hanzo. Great little headshots. If you can get 1 or 2 picks early into the fight, immediate capture is in your hands. And then on the other side, again, the craziness. We do have Mech-Man onto the Sigma, which we have seen. I have seen it personally from the past. He's very good Sig. And then Taco probably trying to go around and get a quick couple of cheeky picks.
Now the boulder is going to give a little bit of space for Desire to start pushing up, and with the Wrecking Ball of Pika's harassing this backline, you are putting Unimelb into a bit of an uncomfortable position. They really want to be able to play together and grouped up, but now it is going to be Tobo trying to start capturing this point. Of course, Kevin's going to now join, see whether they can start hooking people into this hole of Sackdom, and just searching for the hook. Manages to get the Sigma, but Sigma lands, throws the boulder out, but gets booped off by Shino, and that's the gameplay I like to see. Do you think this fight will keep happening, or is it going to be a regroup call now, Pat?
I would try regroup, or at least poke from an excessive distance here. At high noon though from Cassidy from the bridge didn't really get too much. I think Unimelb played that really well. Although Kraytako again getting Shadow Raven, just coming back from spawn. That is a really good pick here of Pari. You could go in from Kevin the Pro going down as well.
Oh, Vocalize just taking names. Kraytako following up. Vocalizing Kraytako just completely cleaning through right there. That was incredible to see.
Yeah, Kraytako having Shadow Raven from spawn there was just mean. And then you had Vocalize picking apart the team. And yeah, without that shield tank from Unimelb, you kind of just you can't help but get poked out. There's no place to really hide. And even if you do get underneath, that's just a playground for the likes of Vocalize and Kraytako.
Here we go. We now have Unimelb ready and rearing to go. They're looking at this point, seeing what they can do. Kevin, of course, going to try get aggressive and get some hooks off the map. That's sort of the playstyle of a hog here. But that grab connects onto Mickman. The dragons come through, but the Transcendence is going to keep anyone in those dragons alive for now. Tobo the Hobo has taken out Kraytako, but not before they could take out Shadow. Now the Deadeye comes through. Is it going to connect onto too much? No, not when you're dead from a Storm Arrow. Mickman's thrown out the Gravitic Flux onto Kevin. Not really confirming too much just yet. It kills both ways, but it is looking a little bit better right now with this rally coming out by Maya for Desire. However, Shadow Raven getting the Deadeye onto Maya might open this up for Unimelb. They just need to get aggressive, take Mickman off of this point and start flipping it back. Pika getting body blocked in this doorway. The flip is going to slowly start to come through, but Kraytako so good on the Tracer. That should theoretically confirm the fight with Kabutops gone, but theoretical is just not existent in this game right now. It's just chaos, Pat.
No, Desire, they're able, because of the mobility, they're able to just hop in and out, and slowly, we're almost up to 9%. No, in fact, they're going to win here as they just kept the stagger picks going. And they managed to hold on. 10 seconds remaining here for them to even be able to touch here, Unimelb. They're going onto the ball, Kevin the Pro, but honestly, it's going to be up to Shino the Pro to be able to touch, but the bomb.
Oh, that pulse bomb's going to make it hard. Shino and Kevin, the two pros, just desperately trying to keep this fight alive. Tobo might come through on that hero role, but with Kabutops gone, that's all your healing. Lucio just cannot provide enough healing to keep this team alive, and you see it. One by one, they collapse now. Kevin on the wrecking ball, and finally Norm just doing whatever they can, throwing the grab out, just trying to find some semblance of hope, but no. First map of Nepal goes the way of Desire. Desire winky face, to be exact. Now, Pap, I have a big question for you.
Okay.
Vocalize is a caster.
Yeah.
Do you think Vocalize
we can make fun of him? Yes.
has literally...
I was going to say...
But do you think Vocalize has just created a comp that is awful to cast to spite us?
Ooh. I like your thinking there. Because yes. It is. It's like, oh yeah.
Because you're correct.
Yeah, with the typical flow of Overwatch games, it's like, oh yeah, Desire, they've lost 2. That probably means they're going to fall back and they're going to take it really easy, maybe poke around a bit. No. Hold my beer. Kraytako, you're going to go in and get 3 kills on the Doomfist out of nowhere and make something from nothing. And I think that's what Desire, that's what they're looking for. They really are the emphasis of skill equals luck somehow. And they're able to create magic from a beret. They don't even need the magician's hat. And I think that's really, really impressive. Melbourne, though, they are able to hold their own. Once they're able to work as a team and especially wall off the tanks, they are able to get those picks, but unfortunately you can't rest easy when you have the DPS of Desire on top of you at all times. You got to really watch your back, as it seems like we're going to go into King's Row. Melb 1, we did see some very good Reinhardt from Norm. I'm sure they're going to pick it out again. I mean, King's Row, we all know everyone loves to play that sort of brawl Reinhardt. Although I do know from 4 months ago that people still, for some reason, like to run double shield. And I'm sure that's going to happen again, at least on the defense here. Whereas Desire, 100% they will run that comp that we saw on Nepal with that Reinhardt Winston craziness on the Doomfist. Because that is exactly how I remember it from at least a couple of months ago. It was so much fun playing their support, and it was their comms were hilarious. Obviously I can't say too much, but it was quite crazy. It's like, yeah, whoever you see, let's just go for them. And it worked. It worked.
Hey, that's my quick play strategy. Hold on. I thought I had that locked down. Who stole that from me? What the heck?
I see red enemy. I go for red enemy.
Yeah, exactly. That's I'm gonna have to talk to Vocalize about stealing my comps, probably lurking my stream and just taking my strategies. Oh, not okay with that. Now, we are seeing the classic Orisa sort of defensive setup. Orisa can be so good with those pulls to stop a death pull or stop a dive. So that's why you still see the double shield meta, especially on the defensive side, because Orisa's pull is so critical here. And we'll see how they make it work.
Yes, well, it's interesting actually because Shadow Raven, they're running the wall, so the Mei, so they're expecting a Reinhardt here. In fact, they're going to go for a little bit more divey for Desire. It's interesting that they're running a Roadhog purely for the hook pull combo that you just saw just then. Didn't really work out though. The bubble was forced out, so that's another 10 seconds of wrapping around, repositioning from Desire. They're leaving the Winston of Pika just in the choke. That's a really nice anti-nade though. That's going to slow them right down. But Shadow Raven getting a pick onto McMahon.
Yeah, no, this team is working perfectly with these Orisa pulls right now. And we saw in the early game that Kevin likes to play the Roadhog. I didn't think we'd actually get to see it, and let alone see the pull perk, but they're doing it, and they're doing it well.
Oh, they're doing it really well. Oh, what is that anti-nade? That's on 4 of them. Unfortunately, I don't think much can really happen because of it. There's nades flying from both Arnas. You do see back Arna from Unimelb with a lot of healing.
Now with this dive coming in, they can start to take a bit of point presence. You see Desire is just taking the point presence. The hook onto Maya, though, doesn't lead to too much because McMahon can help take out Kevin the Pro. And now this point is freely pretty much going towards Desire. It seemed like they just kind of walked away and then decided you can have it. That was such dominant play.
Yeah, Desire, they might have lost 1 or 2 there, but they take their time in repositioning, making sure that they're pathing as perfect as possible. And I'm sure Vocalize has been teaching them and working them on that. Like, okay, we're going to let the casters talk about nothing for a minute as we just slowly move around the point. And it worked an absolute treat. You've now got them falling right back Unimelb. However, they do have Tobo the Hobo. They're coming up now with their Dragon. And a little bit of a switch from Shadow Raven as a beautiful anti-nade from Desire hits them. That's going to force them back.
Ooh, Shadow Raven taking out Vocalize. We will see Unimelb get aggressive with this now. Kevin gets a good hook onto McMahon and they can finish that off. And now, realistically, you do just let this team regroup. You know, you don't want to get too aggressive and accidentally get an anti-bomb and pulse bomb like that. The anti-nade pulse bomb doesn't go through just as well as they want, but Norm does fall to Kratarko. And now the response comes through. The Dragons, to really catch anyone trying to run away, goes a little bit too deep into the ground, and I think that was just a little bit too over-aggression.
Yeah, they were. You could see what Unimelb were trying to do there, but ooh, Vocalize. That's going to send him right back to spawn there. Although they're pushing really high up here, the Nano goes onto Pika.
The Dragon Strike comes out, splitting up Desire here, but Maya falls as well. And with the Nano onto Kevin, Kevin is going to get aggressive. Unfortunately, couldn't find any kills with the Nano, but now potentially could find a good hook kill combo. Unfortunately, the bubble onto Vocalize keeps them alive. Riku will make sure Vocalize gets all the health back. The grab responded by an amplification matrix, but the damage seems to be going to Kratarko. The Storm Arrow into a grab is just so much damage, and now Pika can get aggressive on this backline, and this will be a cleanup if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, now that you've lost Shino the Pro and Kevin the Pros are gone. you're just going to have to give that one up. It's been quite a fast point too, really, here at Para. And Unimelb, they're coming up with some ultimates, but honestly, they haven't really been able to put a definitive stop on Desire because maybe they push up a little bit too hard. Yes, the Baps Immortality field, came to sort of save Kevin a couple of times, but now that's gone. You've got the pharmacy up in the air, and you're really hoping to get some really good space and pick.
They threw out the supercharger, Norm trying to just make it a little bit more pressure as they try to push up. And that does lead to Kraytako being taken down. Pika jumps back, regroup. This is finally a regroup call from Desire. It's rare to see.
Yeah, Desire? Regroup? That's in their vocabulary? No, I think that was a really bright idea. You've got some DPS ultimates coming up. You pop the rally. They're going to push in really hard and really fast as a team, seeing if they can get some picks.
That devastating Dragon Strike right onto Kevin. Kevin felt that to the face, but managed to also pick up Maya and with the help of Norm, take them out. The whole hog just trying to push people away. However, all the kills are going the way of Desire. Vocalize and Pika putting in so much work on their respective roles of Tracer and Winston. Kraytako now burning through Kevin with that Storm Arrow, and we're seeing Pika right in the spawn, just throwing out Primal. This team is so aggressive. They know that they can just play. They can just play the game, and they do it so well.
Well, they force Unimelb to play their game, and if Unimelb refuse to play it, they just seem to get run over. Look at that. 2 minutes and 50 seconds on the clock. Desire just... Their communication have been absolutely fantastic, clearly, because they've even with 1 or 2, Pika's still able to make something happen, and especially Vocalize and Kraytako have been doing an exceptionally good job. Unimelb, I think what's going on here is Desire, they're able to kind of get everywhere around you at once, and then sort of dive in their own way, or poke you in their own way. And then by the time they really start their full engagement, you've had to use a lot of your cooldowns and give up, especially a lot of space. And that is where Desire right, we've backed them into this wall. Now we're going to attack them. So, when you get pushed and pulled in the directions that Desire want you to, that's when they can really, really struggle. Now they're onto the attack, and they are playing that the comp that we're normally used to on King's Row. Shadow Raven will probably only start with a Widow, seeing if they can get a pick right at the beginning, and then perhaps switching back to that Mei that we saw, so that you can wall off perhaps Mech-Man. But other than that, it's going to be a little bit difficult to wall off anybody else. Maybe the heals from Michael, but other than that, it will just be a brawl versus the double bubble trouble.
Yeah, this brawl, let's see how they can deal with the trouble that is going to be players collapsing on top of them. Hopefully the brawl can just find anyone trying to harass them and take them out immediately. That's sort of what brawl is meant to excel at. And immediately there's so much point presence. However, Kraytako's taken out Tobo here. Now we see Pika and Vocalize and Mech-Man all drop onto point, and my gosh, this is just a well-oiled machine. Desire know exactly how to strike.
You could see what they did. Vocalize and Pika went behind them, and then you had the poke from main from Kraytako, who gets Shadow Raven. That is a lot of time burnt off the clock there just from that pick alone. Then you've got, the Zarya as well, just constantly right-clicking down. And then, of course, Ana just throwing in those beautiful nades. So they're going to go wrap around left side this time.
Let's see if they make any work out of it. The nade is going to keep up the team right now of Unimelb. Unimelb now looking to see how are they going to approach point, opting to just go straight to it again. They don't even want to try wrapping around, but they knew how that happened, how that worked out last time. We'll see if they respond better this time. Pika getting walled off. The rest of Desire are now dropping to give them that support. They're really good at making sure they peel for Pika when Pika needs the peel. And that is a tongue twister if I've ever said one here. Vocalize has now taken out Kabutops here, and the pulse bomb onto Kevin puts so much pressure. Mech-Man can take 2 to their name, and that is going to be a cleanup once again for Desire.
So Unimelb, it's 2 minutes by the time they probably get back to be able to touch and progress. They do have a couple of ultimates in their back pocket here. You do have Shino and Kevin the Pro. The pros, they've got their ultimates. Let's see if they can make something out of it. I mean, perhaps do what Desire did and wrap all the way around like they're going to do, but keep wrapping around. Don't even touch the point. Force Michael, force Maya off that high ground that they need and that they treasure very dearly, and then see if you can strike as the dragons just come through and immediately take down Tobo.
Yeah, that's devastating. They had enough time to build up dragons to shut down this push. That's why you were meant to do it earlier. And now, even with the nano into Kevin, it's going to be a hard-fought battle. It still could be winnable if they get aggressive, but the way you're meant to play Brawl is you run people over. You don't wait for people to come to you. So I hope we see that a little bit more as Kevin is now finally starting to approach the point. Deadeye from behind, or from point, I guess. Tobo just zoning them out. This fight staggering out a little bit here now, but the Blizzard, that should confirm it. Theoretically, that should confirm it. But Desire does not play in theoreticals right now as Cray and Vocalize both take a name to themselves. Shadow Raven tries to wall off the DPS of Desire. The Shadow from Kevin is going to take Cray Taco out, but Pika and Vocalize, they're still here. Oh my gosh, Shadow Raven now, the lone soldier for Unimelb, and it's still not enough.
Still not enough. 40 seconds remaining. You do have Rally, but other than that, you're really relying now on Norm, who's gone a little bit too deep. Might get picked off before the final fight. Forced grab.
Huge grab. Kevin takes 2 to their name right there. Kevin now going to get aggressive in this. Theoretically, should be what happens to get the W, but I cannot play it. Theoreticals the charge. Means that Cray Taco takes out Kevin. Cray absolutely on their hero roll right now. Can Cray find anyone else to take out for dinner? They're looking for Norm, but it's a regroup call for the last 10 seconds.
10 seconds remaining. You've got Norm on the ball now, just trying desperately to touch here. 5 seconds. Vocalize use bomb. Doesn't really get much out of it, however. Rally pops for Unimelb.
The nano onto Kevin. That's so much damage. Kevin should be able to get a couple of kills, but the nano goes onto Pika as well. Pika now finding Shino, but they don't touch the point. They accidentally gave the point away, and for that, their punishment is going back to spawn now, as this payload will start to tick along.
Yeah, and with a couple of those late sort of picks and with an Arna sort of stuck, missed the sleep too. Michael, he could, if he gets taken out, that is a brutal stagger for Desire. They're going to have to wait because of that Unimelb. They need to make that space that they've just created. You can see Kevin has pushed up quite far up. That's where he needs to hold. That with the payload just leaves one person on, but he's going back. Like you said, Brawl makes space. They're just giving Desire whatever space they now want. Cart has come around. Vocalize though. Tobo falling. Now, Desire, all they need to do is just jump on.
Yeah, and here we go. Pika is the one that's jumping on here. And with the amount of peel Pika gets, Pika is free to play. But this Blizzard will zone them out. Primal was forced out right onto Shino, and Shino's getting bullied in a corner. However, the anti-nade is putting a bit of pressure onto Pika there. We do see the minefield, and Pika is just jumping around trying to break as many as possible. Mechman taking out Tobo. Just as Tobo got back, there are no more traces in this fight. It's becoming a 5v5, but not the typical Overwatch 2, because there are still tanks going on right now. The tanks get walled off by a good Mei wall, but the kills still aren't coming through. Maya now takes out Shadow Raven, and Unimelb are going to start sweating right now as Desire are taking space and winning this fight with 50 seconds remaining.
Yeah, 50 seconds remaining, and with a couple of late sort of staggers with Unimelb here, Dragons comes out. Kevin just escapes with his life as a shatter. It's beautiful, but he dies.
Not beautiful enough. Pika's now primaling in your backline. Does get sleep, but woke up instantly, and this disruption. Look at the time bank.
I know, and look, Desire, they don't have too much now to lean on. They do have Michael's nano, but Shino has nano too, and Kevin's gone hog. Okay. I mean, if you can get a great hook onto Vocalize, even Peak when he dives in, there's a ball that's gone in. Norm's trying to make something happen, but it's getting absolutely poked out.
Ooh, the nano onto Pika on the payload. That's really going to make it hard to try and push this payload right now. But McMahon's starting to full low. A lot of good support comes through by Michael, and you almost need to focus them off the high ground. Keeping the Pro does take down McMahon finally, but Kraytako and Vocalize are nasty on Hanzo and Tracer. I would be scared to run into them if I was playing this game right now. And it's just down to Kevin the Pro, desperately trying to find some work. Shadow Raven's return, taking 2 to their name, but is it going to be enough? They need to get a couple more picks, 3 to be exact, to win the fight, but unfortunately not.
Unfortunately, it is too much for the Doom and Desire. They will take the map 2-0 now. Unimelb, Apara, they're walking right into Desire's hands here. They are, anytime that they try and make some space, they try and push forward, that's where Desire like, oh yeah, did you know that we gave you that base? You know, we allowed you to walk forward, and now we're going to push you back, and we're going to disrupt you from 6 different angles, and it's going to be very, very hard to punish them. Unimelb, they can play well. Their shatters are great, but unfortunately, even when you do get those 3-man shatters or a pulse bomb, the peel that's on Pika, or the peel that's, you know, to take down a Reinhardt before they can do anything with their shatters or with any of their ultimates that they're using, is just too much at the moment for Unimelb one to handle. They do have one more chance, however, and that never ever count them out for a reverse sweep.
Oh, absolutely right. I mean, Desire are looking really good right now, but Unimelb, they could just be warming up. They may swing things back to their favor as they're just trying to figure out Desire's gameplay. And I mean, I think Desire are playing really well. Kraytako, Vocalize, incredible on their respective roles here. But I think if Unimelb just figure out how to counteract it, you know, focus down Michael, and then try win the 1v1s or the 2v1s against Kraytako and Vocalize. I don't know how to beat Nutty DB.
Apara's coaching session. Just get good, lol.
Just win the fight. But no, genuinely,
new mouse. Just get a new mouse.
If you can take out Michael and then take out the DPS, it should be easy rolling to finish off the likes of Pika and McMahon, you know, because realistically, that's the peel that Pika's getting is Michael, is the DPS just putting a lot of pressure onto the remaining players of Unimelb. So if you can take that out, that is going to break down Desire. So that's the big goal.
Look, Apara, I just can't get over the fact that your coaching opinions are as good as the map that's behind you right now. The map that's behind. Yeah, that's it. Go, have a look.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I guess that's why I cast it. I don't coach.
I just hear a good one. Oh, well.
User has disconnected from your channel. Sorry, is that too old TeamSpeak? Is that a thing anymore? I don't even know. But speaking of maps, we're now moving into Route 66, which I feel like is going to be very favorable for Desire's playstyle.
That's the weird thing, right? Unimelb, it's their pick. It's losers' pick, and they've gone Route 66. We haven't seen them play the dive, the Winston, and you can, why I'm saying that is because you can, you know, sort of play that Winston, Diva, Winston, Zarya comp when you're attacking, even when you're defending, of course, with Route 66. Maybe Melb 1, they want to try that out because that, or they, you know, I guess you can play poke on defense, but again, like you said, Desire, it's a really big map. You can attack from a lot of different angles. They're highly mobile, so even, you know, on top of the gas station won't be safe. So Melbourne, they're going to have to, whatever they've got planned, they're going to have to make it work and make it work fast. I'm sure there's a lot of team speak going on at the moment from both sides, but Unimelb, they're going to have to be sitting at that drawing board, drawing up flowcharts and just putting on sticky notes and really putting on their gamer socks and maybe new mouse.
Yeah, oh, exactly right. Hopefully they've got new mouses. I heard a co-caster of mine got a new mouse.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
I've heard that you're just really bad at the game now.
You don't know me. Shut up.
Here we go. We're jumping into Route 66, and this is the last chance for Unimelb to break apart Desire's chaotic playstyle and get a map win on the board. That's the goal here. I mean, the real goal is reverse sweep and win for Unimelb.
Yeah.
But the first step of that is just breaking Desire down. So we'll see how they do that.
Yeah, see if any of the pep talks, any of the shoulder rubs, the leg rubs, seeing if any of that has come to fruition, and maybe it has. I think Unimelb, they're going on a bit of a chaotic streak. They've got the pharmacy, but then now they're going for the dive. So they do have that dive in them. Desire, they're playing almost a normal comp. Apara?
Is that the chaotic side of like, okay, we've thrown enough chaos their way. Now let's just play normal when they want to
just be normal. That's the true chaos.
No.
Their unpredictability.
No.
Oh.
Look where they're going.
Oh. And they don't have a Hanzo either, so unless
It's not chaotic. It's not normal. It's still chaotic.
It's still chaotic. They've got that May wall. They'll just be able to wall people off systematically. I don't think they know. Yeah, no pharmacy. Do not know. They've wrapped around Winston scene. Kevin's like, oh no.
Oh, Shino, there they go. Shino taking out so quickly now. Kevin finding them. Fortunately, there's not too much that this kind of brawl playstyle can run over. It was really Ana, and that's it now. Now Vocalize is taken down, and this is where Unimelb's playstyle should come through and win the fight, because Farrah can't get run over by a brawl, and now that they've swapped onto Tracer as well, that is just a full collapse.
Yeah, the full collapse. I mean, look, they burnt off 40 seconds without, losing too much. There's a couple of switches already from Desire back to the Winston Pika goes, and Cray Taco has now gone to the Tracer again. They will have to watch out for this pharmacy though. I mean, if left uncontested for too long, could prove difficult. However, Desire, they know what they're doing. They might just completely ignore the pharmacy, which is definitely a viable option, and go straight onto the supports again and again.
I mean, they do still have Vocalize as well, which Vocalize can focus down a pharmacy, and Vocalize trying their best on the Cassidy right now. It isn't quite landing the shots because you do have Kevin the Pro right up in your face. Primal now popped up onto the high ground, and a Rocket Barrage straight onto Vocalize. Of course, you don't live very long with the Rocket Barrage, and you see Shadow Raven taken out so quickly, but the res comes through. Self-destruct. Connects onto two. Shino and Kevin, the pro duo, is no longer on the field, and that should be last-second defense for Desire.
What looked like losable situation. Hang on a second. Michael's falling. Shadow Raven back. Oh, okay. Cray Taco's. He's back into it. Immediately taking out Shadow. And now we're getting some pistol whips. It is utter chaos on the cart here.
Classic chaos in our Overwatch matches. I think some people call this a clown fiesta right now, and I am loving it. The pistol whipping Mercy of Kabutops taking out Vocalize is brutal. However, is there going to be enough for Unimelb to win the chaos? Because currently it's going in the favor of Desire, as 3 picks have gone their way, and finally now I think you need to regroup.
Yeah, you will have to fall back now, although I do like how Unimelb, they're trying something different, trying something a little bit more crazy and off the books, and it is kind of working to a degree, but you are playing the masters of chaos themselves, Desire, and it even has a winky face at the end of it. Pika will have Primal here. 1 minute remaining. Unimelb, they have a lot of ults in their back pocket of Pyro. If they can, stick the Ana or anything like that. The Divine's on point.
Oh man, Shino is getting bullied. Pika and Cray Taco were just in the backline rolling them, unfortunately. But Kevin gets 3 to their name. Will Kevin be able to clean up the remaining few players of Desire? Well, it's hard to say because Desire is so chaotic. Vocalize and Cray Taco both taking out a player respectively. The payload is starting to slowly inch along, but all that's left is Pika trying to stop it. Does get taken out, but now Maya's back along with Mechman here, and there's Cray Taco's also helping out now, taking out Shino the Pro, and this is exactly how this comp works. You get back in the nick of time, stall and get the kill.
It is true though, Pika survived just long enough with that Primal Rage, booping enough people off to buy time for the team. And now with that sleep onto Norm, might get picked off there. 10 seconds remaining. Who's going to really touch except Kevin? Forced with the Primal. Nice little res though onto Norm. It will be a full 6v6.
Here's the touch coming through. But, oh no, it does just go through. I was worried that the self-destruct might zone it out here. Finally, we got a Primal Rage coming through, but a duplicated Vocalize Winston as well. Pika and Vocalize working so well together to just confirm these final few kills, and that is devastating to feel right now if you're Unimelb. You were so close to capping it, but at the very last second, they stop you.
Desire had other ideas. They desired to stop you.
Had other desires, yeah.
Yeah. They desire a lot, but they especially clearly desire chaos and and winning, as that is a brutal stop before point A. But I don't know about you, Apara, but from my quick play experience, Route 66 attack sucks. I don't like it. I personally not a big fan of the first area. I think that the defenders quick play, it can be quite hard to dismantle. So perhaps, Unimelb, they did get it right to the end, so it does buy you that little bit of time, like we saw Desire, to just get back in time, as we see maybe some hog and ball on the defense. Okay.
Hey, sometimes, if you're playing against Chaos, you got to have something that just completely rips it apart.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm surprised we haven't seen a Sombra yet.
Yeah, I guess from Desire or from Unimelb?
From Unimelb, hack the Winston, hack the Tracer, really shut down what they're trying to run at you. I'm not a coach. You guys heard my Lunar Horizon level coaching a little bit ago, that's what I would think.
I think that's actually not too far off, because even if you had a Sombra that didn't actually go around behind them, just sat with the supports, because you could see that Desire just desired to jump the supports of Unimelb. So just sit by them and hack as soon as they start jumping in and attacking and really disrupting their flow of game style of chaos. And, it's really trying to mix it up, seeing what they can do, and Vocalize getting picked off. That's what you need with Unimelb. That's a good pick.
Whilst that is a good pick, this is the difference between the comp styles we saw in terms of defense. Look how far this payload's already pushed up in the first 40 seconds, whereas the first 40 seconds last match, nothing happened. And so far, they're still making pressure because we've got Pika all the way in the backline. Does get whip-shotted to death there, unfortunately, but it's just given so much space for the rest of Desire to push this payload.
They will have to fall back now, but yeah, they can't... A little bit of ultimate charge has gone for Desire. Unimelb, I think they're playing quite well, having Tobo and Shadow up top with the supports. I mean, how are you going to dive? Flashbang, Storm Arrow, Bash, and Sleep. It is incredibly difficult. And then Cray Taco there. That's what you need. The little picks again and again, just bleeding down the time of Desire. Don't let them play that game. Hide and be chaotic as Vocalize now goes.
Oh, Kevin the Pro, this is what they were talking about their Roadhog game. They have absolutely woken up right now, and they are putting so much pressure. It's great to see.
Yeah, it is really good to see. We're going to have a hook onto Pika, falling really, really low, having to get Nano.
The Nano, though, is getting zoned out by a Deadeye, but the deflect from Vocalize even was so good. There's now 4 players down, and it's just Kevin in the backline trying to find some semblance of hope.
You just want to kind of die if you're Kevin. Just respawn as quickly as you possibly can here, as it will be pretty much final fight territory. You do have Norm. He is back. Nice pick, though. Doesn't go down without a fight. Pika right into the backline now, Para, just trying to make that space, allowing the cart to get to that rectangle of doom.
This is a good minefield by Norm, but an unfortunate grab onto Norm with the pulse bomb to confirm the kill. Pika throwing out a Primal Rage, taking out Kabutops here now, throwing around Shino. Shino just getting absolutely bullied, not allowed to touch the point. Tobo is going to be the one that has to do it with the help of Kevin. Throws out the whole hog, but the Anti-Nate is going to take them out, and that is going to be a clean 3-0 for Desire. Wink. You don't
Winky
see the wink
face.
there, but I just did it.
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
give them all a wink. Give the crowd what they need, what they
when we
want,
get on
what they
cam, so I'll give them a wink.
desire.
That was good. I like that one.
Thank you. Been
No, we
working on
we have to give each other compliments sometimes, you know?
Yeah,
It's like,
I know we can't abuse each other all the time.
yeah, exactly. Now here's that wink I was gonna give you guys. There you go. You got a wink. You're all welcome. But Desire looking so strong right there. I'm blown away. You know, McMahon, Pika really worked well together as a tank duo. The amount of bubbles I saw McMahon giving pretty much everyone was insane on Zarya. McMahon was a big reason that the peel worked so well as Michael. And then Kraytako and Vocalize, they were just so good on any respective DPS role they were playing. I'm blown away by what we got to witness. And Maya on the brig, so good, just shutting down any sort of play style that Unimelb was throwing at them. The whip shots to get people away, you know, the stuns to protect Michael on Ana. It's so good.
Yeah, I totally agree there. I think that was a part of the difference. Was even when Unimelb did try and dive, did try and seed some chaos in Desire's hopes and dreams. Maya was right there with Michael. Whereas, when Desire went, sometimes Shino the pro was kind of just left out to dry against what would probably be Pika and Kraytako's absolute devastation in the backline. And ultimately, Unimelb won. They put up a great fight, but the Winky Faces got what they desired. We will see you after a little quick break, and then we'll come right back for match 2, which will be Div 2 FA1 versus Ace Jacks. We'll see you then.
you know, what you know, down it, what you know, what you know, what you know about rolling down in the ocean. She say that I'm cool, I'm like, yeah, that's true. I believe in G-O-D, don't believe in T-H-O-T. She keep playing me dumb, I'm a player for fun. Y'all don't really know my mental, let me give you the picture like stencil. Falling out in a drought, no flow rain was I'm pouring down. See that pain was all around, see my mode was kinda lounge. Didn't know which way to turn, flow was cool but I still felt burned. Energy up, you gon' feel my surge, I'ma kill everything like this purge. What you know about rolling down in the 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 down in the. What you know about rolling down in the. What you know about. When these people talk too much, put that shit in slow motion, yeah. I feel like an astronaut in the ocean, 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 ocean. You know about rolling. When these people talk too much, put that shit in slow motion, yeah. I feel like an astronaut in the ocean. Let's just get this straight for a second. I'ma work, even if I don't get paid for progression. I'ma get it. Everything that I do is electric. I'ma keep it in motion, keep it moving like kinetic. Put this shit in a frame, better know I don't blame everything that I say. Man, I see you deflate. Let me elevate this in a brain. Have you walking on a plane? La 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 la. Hold hands together, God, let me pray. I can go right around, go that relay. Pass the baton, back in the mall, swimming in the pool, can't do them all. When a piece of this, a piece of mine, my piece of sign. Can you read in between the lines? My rhymes inclined to break your spine. They say that I'm so fine, you could never match my grind. Please do not waste my time. What you know about rolling down in the down? When your brain goes numb, and you call that mental freeze. When these people talk too much, put that shit in slow motion. What you know about rolling down in the. Rolling down in the. What you know about rolling down in the.
It's one small step for man.
Welcome back once again, everyone. We just watched an amazing matchup a few moments ago versus, which was Unimelb 1 versus Desire. And just very quickly, before we get into anything about Game 2, we just want to talk about our MVPs of the match from last match. In terms of my MVP, I have to give it to Pika. Pika was absolutely phenomenal on the Winston, and without their team supporting them, they couldn't have risen to these levels of success. But you know, you still have to be a good Winston to do that. So big shout outs to Pika. What about yourself, Pat?
My personal MVP of the match was probably Cray Taco. Because I loved how whenever they were in the back line with Pika most of the time, plays always seemed to happen. They could carry a fight, with 3 picks, either on the Tracer more likely, sometimes on the Doomfist as well. Whatever DPS they had their hands on, they're able to create the space, create the kills, that was required for a lot of Desire's wins. And when it comes to Chaos, that was certainly Desire, but you could tell that Cray Taco had it all in the bag and was very calculated with how and where they approached Melb's ones, mostly the backline. So that would go for me. Desire MVP would be Cray Taco, as they won 3-0. But now, Apara, we're on to our second match of the night, Div 2 FA1 versus Ace Jacks. We're going to go through Ace Jacks first, and their team is looking quite strong here. We've got Enbo and Simba. They're going to be your tanks. Simba likes to play the Winston, and so does Enbo. So we're going to have a little bit of back and forth about who gets to play the Winnie. And then we've got Timor and Dan as the DPS crew. Dan loves to play that Hanzo, so again, a little bit of luck factor involved perhaps. And we've got the legs, 76 for Timor. Santiago and Mega Smileys will be keeping everybody alive in that back line with that Mercy, Ana respectively here. And in terms of the management, that will be Gats is the coach. Santiago and Sdogga are the co-managers of Ace Jacks. And finally, the captain is the super swag man himself, Simba. The people to look out for on this team will be Simba on that main tank and Tings. And another Tings will be Timor on the DPS, killing more Tings. A little bit of an info dump on them is Jax is from a line of old teammates, and more than a year ago was called Boys Having a Cold One, and has been remade multiple times. This is the current roster and has been together for about a month. Enbo has bad pathing, not sarcasm apparently, and the team has also been known as Ace Dumpster Fire. Is that because of the pathing or otherwise? Enbo and Santiago are previously from Knights. Timor and Simba were on an old roster of Jacks before taking a break. The team was then built around them. And finally, Simba, Enbo, and Santiago used to play on an old roster of Kings. So these guys, Apara, they've known each other for quite some time, especially it seems Enbo's been around the traps. So I'm sure as probably the main tank of the team, a great communication. They've been together for about a month. They're doing really well so far in AOL. See if they can wrap it up as they verse FA1.
Yeah, and going through FA1's roster, starting off on the tank lane, we have Schweff and Ilmatic as the main tank and off tank respectively, seeming to like to run that Wrecking Ball and Roadhog. For our DPS, we have Dumbfist and Artemis, but I believe we might be having a swap out. I'm not 100% sure which specific player it is, so one of these may not be correct. And finally, we have Minty Toast on Ana, and we have either Sora or Sane coming through on Zenyatta. A very little info dump for this team. They've been around for 1.5 years, started as a free agent team, and it's just a team made up of players that really just like playing Overwatch with each other and playing as a team. Some people of interest just to keep an eye out on definitely the Roadhog. Illmatic will be pretty crazy, and it's always fun to keep an eye out on any sort of Doomfist or Tracer players, so we will see what comes through here. Artemis might be quite the carry if executed correctly. Final things to note, their manager / captain / coach is Dumbfist. And yeah, that's FA1. We got two teams going head to head. It looks like it's going to be quite the match, Pat.
It will be. This is Div 2, so this is quite high up, and we saw a great match from Div 3 with Desire and Melb Uni, but this is where you will see quite some high-level gameplay. I'm not really sure what kind of comps we might see. Will we see people being, sticklers to the rules of, we go double shield here. Okay, now we're going to go, this specific dive. It was interesting, actually, because last match we saw a lot of Ana, where usually, the higher up you get, you don't really tend to see too much Ana because Immortality Field is just so good. Obviously, your teammates just not dying. Ana, while they can create some crazy plays with their anti-nades, you generally don't see her played very much unless you are playing, more specific comp like Dive. So we probably will see, I would suspect, some comps that are more down the line. Lots of Baptiste. I saw quite a bit of Poke as well. Maybe some Ashe and Cassidy plays. But then again, I mean, what can we really expect here? Desire came out with some crazy compositions and made it work like a dream. So Apara, it's hard to speculate before we get into this match.
But one thing we can speculate on is what that map pool is going to look like. We'll give you a quick reminder on the map pool right here. For our maps, we're going to obviously be starting on Nepal on Control, and then once again we're going to move to Hybrid of either Eichenwald or King's Row, then Escort of Watchpoint Gibraltar or Route 66, and then we'll either have a Hybrid or Escort. The losers of the prior map will pick which mode, and it's going to be whichever map wasn't played during map 2 or 3. And then if we need to finish it off, we have Lijiang Tower for a control map, and dare I say we need a tiebreaker, it'll be Oasis.
Don't jinx it. Don't jinx it.
We'll try not to. It's a scary time when we're together, Pap.
Look, we did all right. We've come back into it, you and I, and immediately broke it. Because usually exactly. It's all 10, and by the end of it, both of us just pass out from practically hyperventilating.
But isn't that the best way to pass out? At the end of the day, you've been
great
talking
matches,
like crazy,
right?
And a lot of good matches. We'll see whether this match comes a little bit closer than our first match, which was a 3-0. We'll see whether either that can be replicated or whether we go the distance, as we are slowly just waiting to get into Nepal here. Do you think we'll be seeing any sort of dive comps, brawl comps? What do you think is a sort of classic gameplay on Nepal?
Okay, well, it depends what map is going to be the first on Nepal. If it's Sanctum, which I think it will be, I would say we're going to see some poke coming out immediately from both sides, or maybe some dive, some really cheeky dive. We did see a little bit of Roadhog, but I do doubt that. I reckon this is going to be your typical double shield. Baptiste and the Zen, the Discord orbs are just so powerful when you have those two together. We might see a little bit of brawl from Jax. It seems like they will have to go really quick and speedy with Dan on that Lucio. You want to try and cover that distance as quickly as possible if they are going to run double shield. But it seems like FA1, they're going to blow my thought completely apart, and they're going to play Briggs Zen sort of dive out of nowhere, get those picks, disrupt the likes of Jax. It's going to be really hard to see when and where they're going to come from.
Now, it is just a little bit of, early setup, see where the teams are going. And immediately here we see Ace Jax just wrapping all the way around into the back line of FA1. And this is scary for FA1. They have to rotate perfectly to not let this brawl run any sort of lagging behind player. And it's going to be Dumbfist that's getting chasing down on the Hanzo right now. Gets found so quickly. Imbo making that shot call so smartly to finish off Dumbfist there. That is clean, precise team play coming through. They haven't touched point yet. This is ring around the rosy to a T, and honestly, I love to see it. This is why isn't all my Overwatch games like this? Sane, however, takes out Mega Smileys. There's still a chance for this chaos to work out in the favor of FA1 if they play it right, but with that amplification matrix, it's really going to zone out anybody from FA1, and now Ace Jax slowly starting to tick up that point progression.
Yeah, that was really smart there from Jax to just sort of disregard for a time and just chase down the stragglers of FA1 that couldn't quite run away quick enough, and clearly couldn't run away quite fast enough onto the Hammond, sent right back to spawn. I love this sort of chaos here from Jax, but gets us some picks.
Yeah, Dumbfist Dragon working out really well there, and the whip shot takes out Timur. Now Dumbfist putting on a lot of aggression onto Mega Smileys. The pulse bomb comes out, doesn't get too much, but it's going to unlock enough picks for the rest of Ace Jax to fall.
Yeah, you can see what Mega Smileys was trying to do. They were going behind, they were trying to pick off Minty Toast, but unfortunately just left the front line of Jax completely exposed. And with the Dragon from Dumbfist splitting apart Jax, it was just one and done, because now that they're all split, FA1 can come from all those different directions. The Discord Orb, the minefield.
Oh, Timur did not like that minefield. Swift really putting on the pressure there. Really smart play. Mega Smileys has good death bottom, but you don't want to use it right now. Get your team back and go on a wee cheeky flank is what Mega Smileys is thinking at the moment.
FA1, they actually don't have too many ultimates in their back pocket. They do have the Zenyatta, but I think it was locked up. It was not.
The Transcendence does not keep Illmatic or Minty Toast alive from that amplified fire strike right there. Dumbfist now getting chased down by Timur's Symmetra beam, and that was a solid shatter. Swift now going to try stop this payload ticking over and just try build up a little bit more point progression and time. Smart ults right there.
That was really good, really, especially with the Transcendence not quite working out there, because that would have been really bad for Jax if they couldn't get any kills off that shatter. Now though, Jax are going to hold up quite close here, still on the sim pick, which is quite interesting, usually a little bit difficult to retake, but they're doing really well. As the Dragons comes through though, doesn't really get anybody, but the split.
Yeah, that split up is key. Mega Smiley's Death Blossom does take out Dumbfist, but not for long as Sane finishes them off. We will see a little bit of aggression coming through here now as Schweffer is going to jump onto the point. Inbound Santiago, Dan, they're trying to keep this point protected right now, and it's working out in their favor slightly. It's just a little bit of hype from Sane. Make sure they don't take out Timur like that. Simba has returned though and swings over Artemis. Out comes another Transcendence, but Illmatic's off the map accidentally with that self-destruct. Simba now cleaning up with a good fire strike, and that's going to be the point. It'll come down to just Schwift trying to touch, I believe.
Yeah, Schwift is... He's on half health too, so he won't even be going on full. He's going to try his absolute darndest, but honestly getting burnt down by that D.Va there. Mega Smiley's also just completely obliterating the D.Va.
Man, that was brutal. Now Minty Toast trying to stand on point, but the shatter is going to wreck you right there, and that is really good plays by Ace Jax. You know, they knew how to use ultimates to a T.
They didn't get overwhelmed either from FA1's sort of more chaotic composition of poking from different angles, having the ball sort of disrupt your client. I think Jax, they peeled really well. They stuck together as a team and didn't allow FA1 to budge them in any direction at all. Now we're on to Shrine Hirapara. We will see the Symmetras coming out to play. I reckon they will stick to them as they will pretty much go exactly the same composition, except that's actually only for the DPS, because they'll have different tanks and different supports. For the tank for FA1, they're going for a little bit more of the dive. They want to get into the back line and brawl with that Reaper, whereas Jax, they've got their tried and true method of just running straight for them and having everyone beam all at once.
Yeah, this brawl obviously just planned out to a T. They know how to work into a charm, and we're seeing them put so much pressure straight away into Ilmatic and Schweb, especially with Mega Smileys getting so aggressive, just managing to raise the way with a nick of health there, but the supports are good enough to bring it back. Simba just trying to stop this dive, trying to stop anybody get aggressive onto their supports, and now with Mega Smileys taking out Artemis, this point is going to go the way of the Jax, as the question will be whether this long pond fight is going to go the way of Ace Jax or not, and currently with Dumbfist taking out Mega Smileys, it's not looking too good. It's just a little bit of a wraparound.
Yeah, Santiago is doing such a good job on the Baptiste. I mean, look at that. Just takes out Ilmatic immediately there. Simba also getting a kill. Apara, honestly, this Baptiste pick is coming out in spades for Jax. The Jack of Spades, perhaps. As, you know, you're just able to use that immortality field, something that FA1 just do not have. They do have the coalescence, but with the immortality field just allows their Reinhardt, their tanks, and their DPS to push up that a little bit more aggressive, because you have the immediate save, the pumping of heals as well, whereas Minty Toast is a little bit slower.
Mega Smiley's trying to go on a flank, but gets found. Coalescence now to take down Santiago and Dan. Minty Toast using it to keep the team up, but also can burn away their enemies, and it worked too so perfectly. Such a good Coalescence.
That was really good. I was just talking all about how good BAP was, but Minty Toast just... yeah, but what about this? And then just burnt down everybody there. Timor for Jax. They're going to take the high ground, actually. Probably pop the, whatever this Symmetra wall is called, because of course now I've forgotten. Photon Barrier. That's the one, as they beat and just push directly inside.
Another kind of barrier, the sound one, and Schwiff and Dumbfist are going to use that sound barrier so well to make sure they have enough strength to just get those picks. Death Blossom cleaning up the kills.
They did have to use a couple of ultimates there, and the big one, I mean, they did have to use it if they wanted to engage it as fast, but was the sound barrier. Now you only have the Graviton Surge, really, whereas Jax, they have a lot to answer back with.
Out comes that Photon Barrier from Timor, and it's just going to give Jax space to start pushing up. Amplification Matrix through the Photon Barrier. That means you can't block it in any way, but the grab takes everyone out of the Amplification Matrix. No more value coming out of it, and Sane can push you around. However, the Shatter, so good from Simba. Simba said, are you Mufasa, because I'm going to throw you to the ground right there, and that was just brutality.
That was a very good Shatter. They were able to keep a couple of key ultimates as well, Jax, for the next fight. They will have to look out for that Coalescence from FA1, which, yeah, Minty Toast did such a fantastic job with the first one. Probably going to do the wraparound again, as it's you do not really want to push main unless you're going to get there exceptionally quickly, simply because of the poke down.
Here we go. They're trying to rush over Simba right now. Coalescence coming up, and Sound Barrier is going to keep Ace Jax alive through this Coalescence. Death Blossom comes out by Mega Smileys. Doesn't really connect onto much. Unfortunately, Mega Smileys falls during it. Santiago has taken out Ilmatic, though, and now it is just going to be a bit of a sustained battle in this fight, trying to find one or two picks onto the side of FA1. See whether they can confirm this fight for them, because it's 95%. They need the kills. Another Shatter coming out by Simba already. Simba built it up so quickly. Here's the Death Blossom from Dumbfist, and Ilmatic is making good use out of it, just getting those final few bits of damage. Santiago wants to keep the fight alive and is doing good work. Sane and Ilmatic are gone. Overtime ticking away. Swift just manages to touch, but that is going to be Nepal for us, as Tracer touches and recalls, and it's the typical stagger through now, and there we go.
They tried. Oh, FA1 put on a good final fight there, but that amplification matrix there from Santiago was just too much for them to handle. I mean, look at that, play of the game. I think it was probably the last final fight. So much healing was just pumped down through this. Immortality fields are great as well. Santiago put on a really good show there, and all of Jax, they're looking really, really strong. And next map, let's be honest, will probably be King's Row. And we've seen how fast and how aggressive and how good Jax are with that Brawl composition here. FA1, they're going to have to go back to the drawing board a little bit and just discuss, are they going to keep running with that sort of more the dive, or are they going to try and match Jax and see if they can overpower what seems to be a very strong and very aggressive Brawl?
Now, I mean, that was really good by Jax. Jax kind of working well together as a solid unit, and I mean, I don't know, what is your opinion on breaking apart a solid unit like that?
If you're going to break apart Jax, they did try the poke FA1, and unfortunately when you take someone to King's Row, you could do, even if you are trying to poke, you could do what Desire did last match, and that's just simply out-rotate. And also, I mean, Jax did it on Sanctum, for goodness sake, just did Ring Around the Rosie, so they know how to path. So FA1, they're going to have to figure out if they are going to run that more chaotic composition of that ball and Diva. It's highly, highly communicative, that team comp, where it's like, okay, the ball goes in now, then we go the Tracer. You got to focus down either if they do play the Zen or perhaps the Baptiste, annoy him enough so that at least take the insane amount of healing that Santiago provides and turn it on his head and see if you can take him out and disrupt him enough for the rest of FA1 to be able to just demolish Jax. But that's not easy. That's easier said than done. Another way is just Brawl v Brawl and then just outplay Simba and Envo, but that seems to be really, really hard at this current point in time.
Yeah, it was hard to break that apart for sure. I think moving into King's Row, I mean, Dumbfist listed Doomfist. If they do play that could put a lot of pressure onto some of these supports from Ace Jack. So if we see the Doomfist come out from FA1, that could be one of those saving graces that they need. And it might give a little bit of space for Schweff and Illmatic to get a bit more aggressive onto Simba and Envo as well. So it'll be interesting to see, especially Dumbfist's hero choice right there.
Yeah, again, yes, we talk a lot about the tanks, but like you just said, the DPS also mattered there as well. We saw some Mei come out from the final match, and that was really good. The Blizzard, not the final match, the last match. Mei was crucial on King's Row with the Blizzards, and it definitely locked up and slowed down Desire quite a lot until they figured it out. Maybe FA1 could take a leaf out of Melb Uni's book and then improve on that. It does seem like they will, on the attack, go with, again, the dive. But they instead will take Illmatic on the Sigma. For the defensive people of Jax, they are going to go the tried and true method of Brawl. And why not? I mean, it's a beautiful time to play Reinhardt. And they will have the Mei and Cassidy. Cassidy just helps, especially with the dive, stopping a lot of that pressure onto their supports. And of course, I mean, you're not free when you're ball either against a Mei. You can just get frozen up and getting absolutely deleted. So I think it's really going to come down to the walls and the picks from, interestingly enough, Dumbfist has gone with okay, the Symmetra. Just get them on the high ground, immediately switching over to the Hanzo, seeing if they can get an early pick.
Does the Symmetra teleporter actually give you much extra time? I guess it's just putting Sigma and Zen there, but you can walk up the staircase. Interesting TV. I don't know. I don't know the statistics of the time for it, but just interesting to see them use it. Now we've got Artemis and Dumbfist and Sane putting so much pressure on. Artemis on the high ground and Sane and Dumbfist just getting two beautiful headshots, one after the other. Artemis can get in the backline on that Tracer, and we're talking about how a really good Tracer can dismantle a good team like this, because if you're just harassing the backline with the follow-up from a Wrecking Ball of Schweff, you're going to clean that up.
Yeah, and clean up they do. I mean, Schweff immediately taking down Dan, and the space that was created purely by one Tracer there, falling back really far. There's a pick, but unfortunately that pick has come way too late. But Jax, look, they might be able to get back to the second corner. Unfortunately, because of the sort of later kills, they won't be able to hold where you really want to hold under the first archway there. But Enbo falling quite late. That is a diva that will be back in a long while. So again, FA1, they will be able to do what they did last time, and that's just path in a really, really smart way, because that's how they took out the first couple of picks of Jax. And unfortunately, they couldn't just, they couldn't desire the win by somehow pulling out a miracle. So they will be pathing up onto the high ground and seeing if they can sort of mitigate a lot of that poke that FA1 could do.
Oh, Illmatic's feeling so much pressure. Ace Jax, once again, just moving as a complete unit. The value, I'm not too sure of, because this payload is moving on very quickly. They did get Minty Toast. They still haven't killed Illmatic, though, but now they're realizing they need to go into the payload. Guys, there is a point that you need to focus on,
guys?
and that minefield is going to take out Santiago. Oh my gosh, that payload nearly pushed all the way through just because they got a bit too aggressive on that weird flank. I mean, it worked, but they only just got back in the nick of time, forced out Transcendence, and now it looks like Timur and Dan might be able to get those final few kills.
It did force out a Transcendence, however, from FA1, and now because of that, you do have almost a free shatter here if you can take out Ilma. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Nice play.
I mean, that was just a good shot. Yeah,
that was a good shot.
Are they going to get aggressive? I mean, I think you fall back here if you're
you don't have long to wait. It is a tracer. Good. Maybe you could take a little bit more space from Jax, but you do have to be really careful, because FA1, they could just try and backcap you again here as they are pathing on the left side, but they know where they are. They know. Mega Smiley, Sonic Arrow.
Oh, again from Simba. Rally has to come out, but Sane fell during the shatter. Out comes the sound barrier to just bring a little bit more aggression to the field for Ace Jax right now, and they are looking for it. Where do we go to make sure that we shut them down? And I think in these sorts of times, at least me personally, I'd be trying to back cap whilst they're getting a bit too aggressive.
You could see that Artemis is trying exactly that from FA1 there, but Enbale's like, no, I know what you're trying to do. They've wisened up to it. And no, they're just hovering all around the cart. One thing, though, they do have to be careful. Santiago is still coming back from spawn, so they only have Lucio heals, so they've got to be fast and they've got to be quick. And Tweef getting taken to very, very low does buy the time that they really, really need. As finally, the Santiago Baptiste is back into the fight here. FA1, they do have that minefield for the next fight, so there's a lot of space that can be created, especially with Dumbfist coming up with the dragons.
This is such a split fight right now. Both teams sort of focusing on their own little sort of 2v2s or 1v1s or even 3v3s here. So it's quite interesting to watch how, like, there's so much happening but not a lot happening at the same time. Now that minefield with the Transcendence just to come through to try keep Shreff alive, but unfortunately Dumbfist did fall to Mega Smileys. That's one of those 1v1s taken out early. The Minty Toast now taking out Timur. That could start to unlock this fight for FA1 if they just follow up with a few more kills. And there goes Simba. Mega Smileys is gone now too. Sane, so good on the Zenyatta, and that payload finally going to push through Streets phase of King's Road.
Yeah, after sizing each other up, showing how much each other can lift, on a good day, FA1 were like, all right, we're going to get some good picks. I think they pushed forward really well, especially with that bomb onto Simba. Brought him exceptionally low, and Mega Smileys again with the headshot onto Dumbfist. And look at the aggression of Para. What are you going to do against that when Simba is just chasing you down with Dan speed boost?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. When they notice one pick is down, Ace Jax just cool, get aggressive, get a couple more picks, send them back to spawn. Do it so
That's exactly what you need to do. Jax, they have 6 ultimates now. And FA1, interestingly, have made a little bit of a composition switch up. We've got Artemis now, Ashe, a lot more poke. There is a little bit more of this sort of space that you can create. And then now Orisa, but there's the dragons coming through.
That dragons. Yeah, splitting up the teams, and Simba was so split up that when they shattered, they had no health to try stay alive. Dragons now coming back from Mega Smileys, but not to the same effect considering a few of their players are already down. Self-destruct also not doing too much work here, but Imbao actually managed to boop off Ilmatic with the self-destruct, so never mind. I guess the push from the self-destruct threw them off the map here, and now we will see likely Ace Jacks get a little bit more aggressive as they try to hold this out.
But FA1, they haven't had to fully regroup, despite the fact that Jax used 4 ultimates there and didn't really get too much. Mega Smiley's now gone onto the legs, just to apply that little bit more pressure to Artemis. Here comes a Flux High Noon, though, into Flux. Gets Illmatic.
That Deadeye in the Flux means that you're not going to get much value from it because you have to hide from it, and Illmatic unfortunately fell. And so now we are seeing once again Ace Jacks doing exactly what they do best, getting aggressive when there is one pick down. Mega Smiley's taking 2, trying to find a third onto Sane, just doesn't get the kill.
No, but again, that is time burnt. 50 seconds remaining. This is one good fight they have. Santiago, their amplification matrix have been really, really good. And when you compare it up as well as they have with Simba's Fire Strike, it can be absolutely devastating. But Minty Toast does have one of their own. And especially with a bongo coming out, could be a lot of damage. Too much for Simba to handle.
Out comes the Amplification Matrix, desperately trying to break Simba's shield, and Simba's shield falls so quickly. Amplification Matrix from Santiago, however, is going to be a good response. The Bob taking out so quickly, the headshots from Soldier just burn it down, but now they managed to push up past that Amplification Matrix, so Mega Smileys gets taken out because of that. No more value for the Amp Matrix, and now we're moving into that final overtime push. They have to play it so perfectly. Taking out Simba is a good start for them here. They just need to confirm a few extra last few kills, but the tactical visor coming up from Mega Smileys is going to have to be responded by a Transcendence. Dragon Strike onto the payload, trying to zone them off payload so they can keep pushing it. Deadeye by Timor takes out Sane. There's no more damage. Discord Orb there, and the self-destruct getting thrown deep into the backline's got to find 2. That's going to be the cleanup you need just before the end of King's Road.
I did like how FA1 actually approached that. First, they popped the amplification matrix for the first corner, pushed Jax back, and then once they had gained that ground and pushed past their own amp matrix, that's when they popped the bongo. So you continuously had, damage that was amped to tenfold in some cases, and that's how they created so much space. But Jax, they knew what they had to do. They just backed up, let FA1 not so much overcommit, but definitely use more abilities than perhaps they really needed to. And that's how Jax were able to turn it around with a bit of patience and a lot of speed, especially with Dan and their sound barrier to help them get over the line. And now Apara, they just stopped it. So they do have a win condition here, Jax. But first off, they do have to get past the Orisa defense with a Mei wall, and they're gonna have to really watch out, especially Simba on this Reinhardt.
This Mei wall is going to be crucial here for FA1 because we've seen how well Ace Jacks move as a solid unit. This Mei wall is going to be able to split them up if used correctly, and that's going to be crucial. They need to split up this unit because this unit is going to move very quickly, going to path so perfectly, and we're going to see them go up this high ground.
Yeah, again, this is how Desire kind of did it. They took their time. And I get, how FA1 have also done it. You path around, you don't want to take damage from main, and they're probably just waiting for the speed boost, go right underneath. Oh, nice little wall, but it's not really going to do too much. A little bit of damage onto Envo, but other than that, they will safely be able to path underneath now. I do like this. All the while, though, Mega Smileys gets picked off from Artemis. It's a lot of frontline damage, but they are going to commit to this Apara.
Yeah, you have to when you're here. You just got to do it, even if you don't have the Reaper, and that's exactly what they're trying. Timor is taken out, but Santiago has taken out Ilmatic now. No more Orisa, and the Fire Strike onto Minty Toast is really good. Artemis does get a good wall, and Simba feels the pressure from Dumpus because of that Mei wall. Storm arrows taking them out, and that is going to be ultimately a defense won by FA1.
Ooh, Mega Smileys. He's probably going to die here. Might just get out with his life. In fact, Artemis trying to chase down Mega Smileys gets flashbanged and sent back to spawn himself. And with no Maywall, we've discussed this a lot here, but now you can just kind of take the point for free. Simba just walking on with the rest of his team. And unfortunately, that bomb won't get anybody just purely for remake reasons.
Yeah, that bomb was forced out so well. Mega Smileys takes out Sane. Dragon Strike really good from Dumbfist, removing Dan from this fight. No more speed boost. Blizzard gets eaten by Inbow though. That is crucial for the win here of Ace Jacks. They need to use the value of eating that Blizzard, and they manage to take out Schwef. But unfortunately, Simba does fall just before the immortality gets there for them. The Maywall picks up the self-destruct and removes Artemis from the fight. Transcendence now coming out to keep Illmatic up and running, and it actually helps Mega Smileys die there from a good shot from Dumbfist. Inbow's gonna go up onto the high ground to put a bit of pressure onto Dumbfist. As now Timor and Simba are back. The table at this point gets captured. Illmatic got stalled out, body blocked. Wow.
Good body block. And Jax now, tried and true method of just chasing them down. They don't have that Lucio to run. Look at them go! They're already guys. Second point first, maybe.
Touch spawn doors, guys. Touch spawn doors.
Touch spawn doors. Challenge mouse difference. They've been able to push up so hard and so fast. They've actually got a lot of ultimates that Jax to fall back on here. You've got the Shatter. You've got the Amp Matrix. But on the other side, you've only really got Illmatic with the Bongo. And that can do a lot with Dumbfist's arrows. But look how much space that, Jax, they've been able to negate.
Unfortunate Shatter gets blocked by a wall, and Illmatic takes them out. Dragon Strike zoning out Timor, gets them taken down, but not before they could take Minty Toast out with a Deadeye, but it doesn't really matter. That defensive fight is going the way of FA1. Mega Smileys just taking one more on their way out.
It's a little bit back and forward here, but ultimately, Jax, they do have the better spawn advantage, really. And that, yes, kind of with distance, but mostly just because you've got Dan on the Lucio. However, both support ults now for FA1, so whatever Jax tries to throw at them, you're going to have to be very, very wary of that with Immortality Field and, of course, the Transcendence. But Mega Smiley, Artemis just falls.
That's such a big pick. And the Death Blossom comes out, but the Immortality is going to stop that Death Blossom doing anything. Self-destruct not really connecting onto much as well either, unfortunately, here. Illmatic using the Amplification Matrix to do a lot of pressure, and Dan falls with the help of Schwef. Now we're seeing a little bit of a fight on this payload, just back and forth, trying to find those last few picks for either team. But Dumbfist taking out Simba, and Timor falling as well is going to be another defense for FA1.
Jax, they are inching it closer, but FA1, they are coming out on top with the crucial picks, especially from Dumbfist, doing exceptionally well on that Hanzo. Illmatic as well, their pulls have been really outstanding too. And then who can forget the diva of Chief? Chief! Let's do it like... incredible defense matrix right on top of Mega Smileys, completely negating what could have been a killer Death Blossom.
I love that Maywall just like stopping them for a few seconds, but the Blizzard's even better, taking Timor and Simba out so quickly. Self-destruct only taking out a Supercharger and Immortality, and that was a very quick fight.
Yeah, it wasn't too costly for FA1 either, only having to throw out a Blizzard and Bongos there. Jax, they still don't have ults, and they had, I don't know why they bombed, to be honest. Maybe they thought they could make something out of nothing. Paula Desire. But no, Jax, they'll be coming back with a Shatter and possibly with an Amp Matrix as well. But Dumbfist been absolutely popping off. They know where they're coming from with that Sonic Arrow too. They might just send a Dragons in immediately here.
Now, this is going to give a little bit of payload presence for Ace Jacks there. The Deadeye is going to get blocked by a good Maywall, and the Dragon Strike's going to zone them out before they can push out. Embo
gets touch.
He mech'd because of a really good Blizzard, but yeah, that self-destruct gets two, and just in time, the remake onto point stops that point from being captured. Mega Smileys, though, still going to try and keep pushing this payload. Sane's taken out two now, and Simba falls. It's just Mega Smileys, and yet another defense on this last point of Streets.
Yeah, 30 seconds remaining here. They've got to touch it. they have gone Timor the 76 to see if they can run it to the payload. Of course, you've got Dan as well, but ultimately you really don't have anything. But again, neither do FA1. They do have a Transcendence, so it's going to be exceptionally difficult. You're going to have to see if you can pick off the Zenyatta almost immediately here, as it seems like Jax are going to come from different angles.
Yeah, this flank from the DPS as well as the drop down from the high ground of the tanks might just be enough to get the payload there. Just not quite. Transcendence gets the touch to stop the payload from moving. Now we are seeing a death crossing from Mega Smileys. Take two, Dumpfist finishes them off, but is it going to be enough? No, that payload does finally capture, and we can maybe see a 3rd point win for Ace-Jax.
It's potentially. The issue they have is that no matter how fast they push it, it will be in overtime. So FA1, if they can play this smart, if they can play it slow, bank up on ultimates, I mean, automatically you have Blizzard for Artemis, and that's just a space maker in and of itself. So if you're Jax, you're going to have to get fights done really quickly, and that is not what you want.
That's not how you want to fight to start. Sound Barrier doesn't really keep this team alive in a blizzard because you're still going to get frozen up. Dan doesn't get killed, however, which is good. Tactical Visor comes out for Timor, just putting a lot of pressure onto FA1. Someone's going to have to touch as this payload going through, and nobody touches. They just let them take it through free of charge. Keep the receipt.
No refunds?
No refunds. Absolutely not. That is a no refunds. Keep the receipt. You know, wow. They just pushed that all the way through.
They did not mean to do that at all. FA1. I think what was really good from Jax was the speed, the aggression that they needed. They forced out the Blizzard. The Blizzard didn't get the picks that FA1 were really leaning on. And with Attack Visor forcing them into that little choke that they more or less put themselves into in the first place, FA1, and the damage that was able to be pumped into that small corridor was ultimately too much, as now we go into what could be our final map with FA1. It is their pick, ultimately, and Jax, they're looking so strong. FA1, they will have to pick something where they do have more time to perhaps poke them. And look, Route 66, not like they haven't actually picked the map just yet, but you know, if they do pick Route 66 FA1, they do have that time required because we haven't actually seen much else from Jax other than that brawl. So maybe force them onto something that they haven't played tonight that they might not be as comfortable with, and forcing them to go, hey, we're just going to sit here and poke that Ryan Chart shield down from a high ground. But even then, Jax, they're pathing, especially on that second point there, how they never went directly forward into the Orisa poke. They always went right around, putting FA1 into ultimately a really bad position. Another one, Apara, another map that they could pick, and I think they have picked, would be Watchpoint Gibraltar. I mean, that one is a killer for Brawl, especially on first point, where I'm talking if you're attacking here, because second defenders, they will have the Orisa, they will have the Sigma. You can have an Ashe, you can even have a Pharmacy, just constantly poking down, and you can only speed boost so far with Watchpoint Gibraltar. It's very, very open.
Oh, yeah, no, Watchpoint Gibraltar, very smart choice. The Brawl is going to struggle for Ace-Jax, but they listed that both their players like Winston, and we haven't seen that yet. And Winston's very well known on Watchpoint Gibraltar, dare I say that, and the animations seem to make a safe place for him. So, I'm going to be interested to see whether we see maybe a new, different, but still strong Ace-Jax come out with this new map choice of Watchpoint Gibraltar.
I mean, there is such a thing as that dive brawly style where you still get the Reaper and you still get the Cassidy. You just don't dive in as hard. You just you have that double bubble. And you move as a team, but you still that little bit more mobile and you can get onto the higher ground a little bit easier. I mean, you can even swap the Cassidy for a Tracer, allowing a little bit more speed to get onto that high ground faster. We haven't seen too much Genji, except if your Desire with your chaotic team compositions that you guys run. But maybe even take a Genji, take an Ana, mix it up a little bit, make FA1 they're not really sure what they could do against something like that. But FA1, they have picked this map for a reason, and that reason probably, I would assume, simply based on the last 2 maps that we've seen, a lot of poke from the high ground. And boy, can Truth do a great job with those pulls and the headshots that could come upon it. So Jax, they do have quite literally an uphill battle.
Yeah, they are working hard to get the reverse sweep, and we'll see whether they can do it. FA1, they've shown us that this match is closer than it looks, because even though it's a 2-0, FA1 definitely put a lot of pressure onto Ace Jax, and I genuinely think if A1 was winning King's Row, it just seemed like it came down to a bit of poor comms, nobody knowing what to do at that last point when they were all stuck in that choke, and nobody knowing who's going to touch. I feel like it was purely just a bit of confusion, miscommunication, but I think if that did not happen, King's Row would be FA1's, hands down.
Oh, it was so close. Even that first point with FA1 defending, that was, look, I definitely wouldn't call it a C9. It was a very calculated body block from Jax there, but it was just another unfortunate loss in what has turned out to be a series of unfortunate losses for FA1, and because they've accumulated, it's now at this point where it is 2-0. We are on watch point Gibraltar. Jax will be defending first. Yes, they will be going to Ana with Santiago, and that is because you do have the dive. That is where Ana is acceptable. Thank goodness. Because, Baptiste, it is a little bit harder when the team when you do have a Diva Winston instead of that Zarya Winston, where they do dive in for kills instead of just sort of going for that little bit more brawly dive style. On the other side, FA1, they're running exactly the same comp, except Artemis will go for the Symmetra purely just to get them on the high ground. I reckon they will switch off onto the Tracer. It will be a mirror matchup, I would predict. It's just about who can get the bigger picks. It will probably go to Jax originally, simply because they have the defensive advantage.
Here we go. Both teams out of the gates right now, and it is just looking like they're trying to play around this natural protection of barriers and walls right now, trying to make sure these dynamites don't do too much pressure to them and not let them make too much pressure. And that dynamite onto Minty Toast from Mega Smileys is huge. An anti-nade coming up by Santiago. That's going to put a lot of pressure onto FA1 as they are going to start falling back. But Artemis just said, I'm just going to push the payload. I don't care.
I don't care. That's what you need to do. You send your Tracer out in a payload, push it enough to make Jax look in a different direction. But like I said, the defensive position is just too strong. Illmatic immediately gets burnt down. Now they're just going to have to wait again for their main tank as Diva there gets booped off a couple more of the percentages for their Jax ults. And it's going to be tough, but eventually Minty Toast will get the nano as they dive in again.
There we go. That was a much more coordinated dive. Both tanks going up, and then Artemis being able to get in behind the rest of Ace Jax right now. We'll see whether they're able to make any sort of value out of it as we see another jump onto the high ground, but a good dynamite, putting a lot of pressure onto all the tanks from every team here. Mbao and Che going head-to-head, but Dan, good whip shot onto Artemis. Mega Smileys takes out their counterpart, and now it is going to look like, once again, a probable defensive hold for Ace Jax.
Yeah, I love how they just keep taking the same position again and again and just making FA1 be the one, to make those plays and come to them. Because yes, while the payload can move, the beautiful boot! Oh my gosh!
Oh, whip
completely
shot
negating most of that nano.
Yeah, whip shot from Dan has been so good. The self-destruct does take out Mega Smileys, and that might open it up for for FA1 right now. They just need to follow up with a few more kills. The anti-nade onto Dan means that rally is not going to get as much value as you had hoped for. Bob putting a bit of pressure and actually just making a good zoning area where they can keep pushing this payload now. Rally now coming out by Sane, and with the Primaling Rage Ilmatic in your spawn door sort of area, you're going to be forced to throw a Bob out. Minty gets to sleep onto Bob before Bob can do too much damage, and now the payload is going to start sort of slowly staggering through as they try to look for a few more kills.
It was a good enough stall though from Jax that they will be able to come back. Maybe, yes, the team just touching the point. Envo does have self-destruct as well, and Timur taking out Ilmatic. It is a rough defense, but a defense nevertheless.
And with this nanoed Simba in your face, you can see the support's feeling a lot of pressure. That's what unlocks that fight for Ace Jax to win it, really.
Yeah, no, that was beautiful. And now the classic Jax chasing you down with 45 seconds remaining as well, Apara. You cannot afford to lose anyone else. In terms of ultimates, really, FA1, they only have the nano, whereas Jax, they've been doing really well at rotating. They've almost got... oh, is that a kill? That's a massive one! Minty Toast, you cannot lose your Ana with 30 seconds remaining. You'd just be kicking yourself. And with self-destruct, Primal Rage, and almost, my goodness, Briggs ult rally. Wow. Again, up and running. It's going to be really hard with Sunfist falling now. Santiago!
Here we go. Simba now putting a lot of pressure onto Sane here, and it's going to come down to these tanks trying to find some kind of value in this fight, pushing this payload. Anma's going to keep doing what she likes to do best, and that's push the payload as best as possible. The sleep onto Schweff is good, and because of that anti-nade, Schweff gets demixed. Now with Dan's rally, that is going to give a lot of support to anyone on this payload. Mega Smiley's trying to take Artemis out with a good shot, throws the Bob into Minty Toast's face, and that's going to wipe Minty Toast off the map. Dan now, Sane, sorry, feeling a lot of pressure from the Bob as well, and that is going to be a defensive hold. Both payload maps we did not get to see past point 1.
No, King's Row saw all of it.
No, that's a hybrid map.
Oh, there's a hybrid. My apologies. I was like, no, you're right. Yeah, because Route 66.
Yeah.
I'm just finding this out live. You know, I've got this. I'm stable, I swear.
You actually haven't been here casting. We've had a bot making a Papadaka styled voice this whole time.
Yeah.
Welcome to the stream, Pap.
Thanks, mouse difference. Anyway. So, this is it now for FA1. And Watchpoint Gibraltar first point, it can be difficult to attack. There's no doubt about that. My quick play experience, I hate Watchpoint Gibraltar as well. It's like, wow, Pap, do you like Overwatch? I do. I love Overwatch, just not Route 66 and Watchpoint Gibraltar. But this dive from Jax, I have to apologize. I was like, oh, there must only be a Brawl team. Their dives have been so clinically well done. And the way that they defended from the high ground, they engaged without having to use too many abilities or cooldowns, so they could get in and out. And now it seems like Jax, they're going to run a Sombra Tracer. I love this. They're going to get into the back line with Simba and Enbao and probably just dive from all different directions here. It's going to be really heavily up to Dumbfist being able to hit those shots.
Ilmatic already dropping onto the payload to stop it moving, and I mean, that's what you want to do when you have such limited space to play with. You want to stop the time bank dropping as much as possible. So I really like that early stall so far. A good sort of boot back onto Simba as they try to jump up onto the high ground. Now having to drop back, but a good anti-nade puts a lot of pressure onto Simba. We do see Schweff trying to chase them down, but does get slept, and now Schweff's in an uncomfortable position. Just manages to get away even before they got hacked coming out from Mega Smileys. So now this payload's starting to move underground, Pap. Do you think we'll see a
huge anti-nade Para? I think both tanks will fall here, and that's what they needed. They needed to stop the payload as soon as they possibly could. Another nice anti-nade, this time onto Illmatic, but nothing will really come of it. They're doing exactly what Jax did last time, but they were able to push the payload a little bit. Artemis onto Mega Smileys. You wouldn't see a Sombra too often dying to that. But now you don't have to worry about hacks.
Illmatic had their nano, but because they weren't near the team, didn't really do too much. But yeah, that pulse bomb stopped that fight.
It really did, but do they know that the payload's moving a little bit? That was a bit cheeky from Timor. Yeah, a little cheeky. I do like that nano. That just landed on the high ground. Now look how much damage fell onto that brig and instantly obliterated.
Yeah, now we are just seeing Simba get so aggressive onto the likes of Dumbfist there, and with Timor's Pulse Bomb taking out Illmatic, this is Desperation Hour now coming in for FA1. They need to do something or else Ace-Jacks are going to go up in this 3-0. Out comes the rally from Sane, just a touch, but an anti-nade's going to shut you down from touching as everyone can body block and just pump so much damage. Self-destruct really going to zone you out. A bubble's not going to protect Schweff, unfortunately, but it is going to keep Illmatic in this game for a little bit longer. Primal Rage just to throw people around as Artemis has now also returned to stall out this payload, but the anti-nades coming out by Santiago have been so good. The hack and kill by Santiago onto Illmatic confirms the 3-0 for Ace-Jacks.
Ace-Jacks showed up tonight. Oh my gosh, they played an exceptional dive, an exceptional brawl, and constantly had FA1 on the back foot, ultimately taking it 3-0 pretty comfortably apart, especially towards the end there. I know you guys probably didn't see it, but unfortunately for Artemis, was just stuck in the backline during that final fight there, had to use all their blinks just to touch the payload for half a second, and then automatically had to recall, had no blinks left, and then obliterated by a bomb. So FA1, they put up a very, very good fight, but ultimately they just got ace-jacked.
I like the way you put that, Ace-Jacks. Very, very good. Yeah, 2 3-0s tonight from 2 incredible games. Just before we finish up talking about our night and everything like that, MVP from Ace-Jacks, Pap. I'm going to put you on the spot. Who do you want to give it to first?
Oh, man. Okay. I really like Santiago. I think Santiago had a really, really good night. You were going to pick them, weren't you? You were going to pick Santiago. Anyway, no, I pointed it out all the way back in the poll how good their Baptiste was and how good their Ana was as well, keeping the tanks alive. And, the tanks played an exceptionally good game, but man, was it just allowed thanks to Santiago.
Yeah. I guess if you're taking Santiago, I'll take Mega Smileys. Mega Smileys, so good, phenomenal on any DPS they were playing, really. So,
yeah, for sure.
Very, very entertaining. And I kept saying their name in the kill feed so many times. And I mean, they used their ultimate so sufficiently to make sure that they could, like, I believe on King's Road, they were... I'm pretty sure
they were a lot, because I think they went Reaper as well at one point.
Yeah.
Too, so.
And I mean, that's just testament to...
a jack of all trades, one might say.
Can we wrap this up now, please? Can we just...
Fair enough, right. Roll credits, producer, man. We
but
have many people to thank. Starting off with our event producers, Gat and Bees on the side of AOESports, and on the side of Koala Esports we have Bees again, as well as Sdogga. Man, event coordinators of Bees, Gat, Raiden, and the rest of the AOE staff. The streamer, the man behind the camera giving you all those smexy angles, was none other than Sdogga Man tonight. You had the casters of Apara and myself, and the stream technical assistants of Gat, Shadow, Temporalic, and Sdogga Man. And a massive, massive special thanks to all of our AOE patrons. We really couldn't do this without you guys. And as a last little thing to all of AOE, Gat, myself, KE, the players, everyone in AOE, and the KE communities that come out tonight and all other nights to watch. And thank you to all of you all for watching the stream tonight. Apara, any final words?
No, just what an incredible night. Great games. Thank you to everyone who came out. Thank you for having me, and we will see you all in the next one.
Stay hydrated.